Flight boss, bitch. And you know, I had to continue this. I think I left off on Mercury or whatever like that. So let's you know, I'm back healthy. I was looking sluggish, looking fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I was going through surgery, a lot of other shit before I did the sun. During the time I was doing the sun, the moon, and I think I left off on Mercury. We're gonna continue. We're gonna go to Mars. All right, now Mars. You know, Mars is like the sun in a lot of ways. It's action, but the difference between the sun and the moon is the sun and Mars is what actually give your actions direction. Like, for an example, say you're an Aries or Scorpio sun, right? Okay, so these are your actions, your path on Earth, your life path, like the things that, the way you go about acting on things, right? Now, reason why I picked Scorpio and Mars is, reason why I picked Scorpio and Aries, because you wanna, if you're a Scorpio or Aries sun sign, you wanna go to where Mars is at, because Mars is gonna be where your actions is concentrated at. So that's what Mars, like say if you was a person who was disabled and you can't use your actions, like you can't act on anything, you're still into certain things. That's where your sun sign come to, like the things you usually into, or your temperament, how you go about acting upon things. Now say you handicap and you can't move and to actually act on something. Okay, your sun is still allowing you to be into stuff, and Mars is given the intent where it's at. So I'm gonna use me for an example. All right, before I can start talking about Mars the way I want to talk about it, because Mars is action, but the sun is actions too. But I just need to distinguish the two real fast. Now I'm gonna use me for an example. I'm a sun sign Aries, right? So I need to know where Mars is at and what Mars is doing. Now, if both planets was in fire, like if Mars was in fire and my sun sign is in fire, then my basic temperament and my intent behind my actions would be the same. But since they had a square, it's like, and it's not even technically a square because the orb is so small. And I'm gonna get into the details of that, because the reason why the orb is so small is because I'm a 17 degrees Aries, but my Mars is 29 degrees, which is the exaltation of Mars, but at the same time, it's a cusp. So it's like everything I can naturally do in my Mars sector is outdated. So just in my Mars, I put myself in Aquarius situations. So it's like with just the Mars aspect, I put myself in situations I can't quite handle because I'm not there yet. But that's where my path is going, and that's what I'm excited to do. So I'm more excited to do those type of things than to do the groundwork. Okay, now like for an example, okay, now my Mars is in 29 degrees Capricorn. Now, as far as my sun is ruler is Mars. So Mars is in Capricorn. So all right, so my sun sign is what? Fiery Aries. I'm fire, ready to go, ready to do whatever, anytime, any place, whatever. Let's jump on some spontaneous shit and let's just do it. And we learn better through experience than learning. Like I can't sit here and have somebody teach me something unless I go do it myself. Like if somebody's sitting here trying to tell me something, they could be absolutely right. It'll go in one ear and not the other until I go do it and then come back and talk to them about it. And then they'll be like, damn, I just told you that though. And I'll be talking like I'm telling them something. Like that's like some Aries type shit right there, right? Okay, now, where Mars at is in Capricorn. So this is where those traits are going. So the traits are going to being practical and building on something. This is why I have so many songs. This is why I have so many videos. This is why I talk so goddamn much. And the reason why I'm talking so damn much now is because it's like I'm stepping in a field that I wasn't in. And it's an unfamiliar field. And Aries like to jump into unfamiliar fields. So I didn't do it a lot as much as before because my Mars is in Capricorn. But since it's in 29 degrees Capricorn, the older I get, the more I realize I need to push myself in unfamiliar areas when it comes to Mars. Now, other than that, it's like the intent behind the Aries personality and energy is pushed into Capricorn. So you know what I'm saying? That's how I go. Now let me use another place. Let's say Mars was in Gemini. So if you a sun sign, Aries or Scorpio, all that passion and aggression gonna be pushed towards communication shit because your Mars is in communicative stimulus intellectual Gemini. You know what I'm saying? So now that we can distinguish, the sun sign is your actions, the Mars is your actions intent, like where your actions is going, where your actions is placed at, where you gonna be your sun sign at when it comes to putting into these actions. So that's what Mars represents. So you know, Mars is your aggression, Mars is your passion, Mars is your actions, your action intent, like the intent behind your actions, like what field is you gonna participate your sun and moon in, you know what I'm saying? And Mars is where you get your fight, or where you get your softness, or Mars is that. So the metaphysics behind Mars is deep. Like the energy on Earth, as far as like for sports, news reporters, like as far as argumentative situations, debates, the president election, all those energies come from Mars, and beings that live on Mars that rather utilize that energy to jump down here on Earth. See, the thing on Earth is humans. I need people to know. I might call myself the Archangel Uriel, but don't think I'm superior to you. If you're a human, y'all are the most powerful things on Earth. Like, because y'all have the opportunity to be a human being. I'm just a being. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very satisfied. But you have the opportunity to be a human being. You have the right and the left side. You have the yin and the yang. You don't have to utilize energies. But see, when beings come through and utilize your human side and then start working through your emotions, your emotional field and all this shit, and your thought process field, and start to utilize your being side, you won't be able to come to grips of what's reality and what's not, and you'll get stuck in a vortex that's solely created by a being. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would get caught in a vortex. Like, people, 95% of America, of the whole world, 95% of the world is in vortexes right now. Like, religion, everything, science, all that shit is another vortex. Now, vortexes originate from a source, but once they get down here and get reduplicated and replicated and mixed up with other people, and this being making deals with this being to utilize this half of the population, and this being doing this, and this being, it gets filtered and it gets diluted, and it's just like our water here we drink. The water is filthy. You know what I'm saying? And at once it was pure. That's the same way with the energy here. The energy is filthy, but at once it was pure. You know what I'm saying? And Mars is part of the anchor of all that. Just like you got Saturn and the moon, that got a special rotation. Mars has his own special rotation, and it deals with that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So Mars is we could talk about the human aspects of Mars, like, you know, shit like you know, the yang aspects of it, like how big is it? It's a fiery planet. It's the let me see, Mercury, it's the fourth planet from the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like little shit like that. But that even correlates to the yin aspect. All of it comes from source, because being the fourth planet from the sun means that it's not one of the sun. It's from the sun, but it doesn't take orders from the sun like Mercury and Venus do. Mercury and Venus is like the offsprings. This whole solar system is offsprings from our sun, but Mercury and Venus are the youngest offsprings. You know what I'm saying? And then Earth. And it's like the way the relationship is between Venus and Mercury and Mars are at odds. You know what I'm saying? So, because it's almost like an older brother type of thing, basically. So, it plays out down here. You know what I'm saying? Mars won't jump in effect in your day-to-day convo. Mars won't even jump in effect in your day-to-day, the way you express love day-to-day. But it will show its aggression when it's time for you to put these elements into work and give it some type of intent. And that's when Mars will kick in. And wherever your Mars at, show how aggressive or how non-aggressive you are in these fields. You know what I'm saying? So, that's Mars. So it's important to know where your Mars is at, because, Mars could get you in trouble and Mars could get you out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, that's Mars. Flight boss, bitch.